Hey, men of Orchard Hill, got a question for you. Are you in or are you out of the men's ministry? How would you know the difference? Let's talk about that. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to Hatchtags. My name is Mike Hatch, and this channel is for any man who's looking to live empowered by the light. My personal mission statement and my goal for this channel is to help men walk in the light as he is in the light in order to be a light for the glory of God. And so I'm throwing this question out there to kind of maybe rattle some cages a little bit and cause a little bit of controversy. So how do you know if you are in or you're out of the men's ministry? And maybe you're watching and you're not from Orchard Hill Church and you might be from another church. Same question. How do you know? I'm going to use a diagram to kind of illustrate this point a little bit. So let's say that this circle represents the entire population of Orchard Hill Church. Okay? So within this, there's probably a smaller population that would define our men here at Orchard Hill Church. Maybe a little smaller than half would be my guess. But let's say that's the number of men at Orchard Hill Church who just attend the church, okay? So within that circle of men, you've got a smaller circle, which would reflect the men's ministry. So everything pertaining to men's ministry, there's a certain percentage of guys who are involved in the men's ministry. And the men's ministry might include events. It might include studies, maybe like an all-in group or other men's studies, Bible studies like Men's Journey. And there are some men's life groups as well who meet here. And or maybe it's like the men's weekend, for example. So these different things would encompass the men's ministry, okay? And so the thinking is, if you've been to any of these things, if you're involved with any of these things, that then you would be in the men's ministry at Orchard Hill Church. You see this question come out when guys will ask, hey, how do I get involved in the men's ministry? Or I've heard it said before that, you know, he came to the men's weekend and that was his initiation into being involved in the men's ministry at Orchard Hill Church. Or maybe a guy might say, well, he wasn't in the men's ministry until he joined an all-in group or took part in the men's journey group, okay? Here's the thing, guys. I think this is faulty thinking. I think this is the wrong question to be asking, and I think we miss the bigger picture with this. Let me explain. So let's take this same illustration. Bigger circle, Orchard Hill Church. Inner circle, men who attend Orchard Hill Church. And then you've got this inner circle who I would change, and I wouldn't describe them as being involved in men's ministry. I would describe these men more broadly and say they are men in ministry. Okay? That's what I would say. And so what I mean by this is these could be men who are engaged in God's missional work to redeem the world in their career. It could be teachers. They could be in business. They could be entrepreneurs. These could be men who have never been to a men's weekend, who've never been to men's studies, but they teach in Kidsburg and they mentor boys, younger boys, as they're growing up and learning the gospel and appropriating it in their lives and their hearts. And being that example of a man. That would be a man in ministry. Maybe you're an usher here, and you are at the door, you're handing out updates, you're meeting new people, you're greeting people, you're a parker. Maybe you're a parker here at Orchard Hill Church, and you're in the parking lot, and you're welcoming people, you're keeping people safe as they park, and then they get out of their cars and make their way into the church. You are a man in ministry, okay? So I want to broaden the definition of what it means to be a man here at Orchard Hill Church. And I think asking the question, are you in or are you out of men's ministry at Orchard Hill Church, is the wrong question. And I think it has some false assumptions to it that the only thing that men's ministry are those events, those studies, men's weekends, all the kind of stuff that we pull guys together. Instead, the men's ministry should be about gathering together those men, whether you're a man who understands his call to serve God and be that engage in that mission of redemption in the world, wherever you find yourself, at work, at home, with friends, wherever, and men who are detached and maybe still trying to put the pieces of their faith together, can all find a common place to be together, get to know each other, and motivate each other to embrace God's call in their life, to be a light in this world. That plays into the men's ministry mission statement. So if you're familiar with Orchard Hill, you know that our mission is to help people find and follow Jesus Christ. And so our men's ministry needs to fall under that umbrella of our church's mission statement. So the men's ministry mission statement is to introduce men to Jesus Christ and encourage them to be the light of the world. We want to help men walk in the light as he is in the light in order to be a light for the glory of God. So for guys who are involved and are called or who have accepted their calling, and for guys who have not, to be that gathering place, that point where guys can learn more about God's call in their life. They can embrace God's mission for them as men. Our goal is to introduce them to Jesus Christ. In everything that we do, we want Jesus Christ to be lifted up, to be reflected, so that people would get to know who he is, to strengthen their confidence about God's faithfulness to them through Jesus. And that happens as you get to know Christ more and more. But also to encourage them to be the light of the world. So next time you wonder to yourself, am I in or am I out of the men's ministry? Hopefully this will help you to reframe that question and think about it a little bit differently. Or if you've been one who's considered yourself to be in the men's ministry, maybe this will help you think a little bit differently about what it actually means to be in men's ministry versus being a man in ministry. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Have a great week. Let's continue to live empowered by the light.